Hi everybody, welcome to Sal's Comic Roundup. I'm here to talk about 3 comic book titles today. Got 3 minutes. And actually, that's a lie. I'm going to be probably talking for another 20 minutes like I did before, but no, for real. I'm not going to talk that long. Anyway, first one I want to talk about today is actually a giveaway from Free Comic Book Day. It's a preview of the upcoming Marvel Comics big event starring the villain of Avengers 2 and sometimes lame 90s villain Thanos. This big, hopefully movie-going event. What comic book companies like to do is if there's a movie about whatever property they own coming out at some point in the near future, what they do is they put a character or characters from those upcoming movies and then make them really important in the comics. So if you saw them in the movie, it stands to reason you would go into a comic book store and buy a comic book with those characters on them because you liked them so much from the movie. I don't think that works, but I'm not a comic book retailer, so I don't really know that to be true. Anyway, Infinity is by Jonathan Hickman and art by Jim Cheung, who I love. I love everything that Jim Cheung does, particularly, most recently, Avengers: The Children's Crusade, of which I did a review, which you can find right there. This issue is kind of like the gateway. It kind of shows you what to expect from this new summer blockbuster Marvel event, Infinity, which centralizes around the Thanos character. If you're not familiar with who Thanos is, I really don't have time to get into it, but what I will say is he's kind of this big purple bad guy who believes in only death, and he died, but he's back, and he uses and wields the Infinity Gauntlet from time to time, which is this reality-changing coming together of mystical gems. It's very, very cosmic and very, very silly sounding when you're talking about it out loud. But what about the comic? I kind of thought this was a ballsy move for Marvel. There's a lot of Marvel Cosmic in here, despite the fact that you see Spider-Man on the cover of Infinity. There's not really a lot of Marvel Street stuff going on to really get you engrossed into the story. If you like Marvel Cosmic, or if you're interested in the cosmic world of Marvel, you may really dig this book. I, for one, am in because Jonathan Hickman, for me, can do no wrong lately. Dude's been hammering it out with the Avengers titles, and I just love what he's doing. So, and also, the art is beautiful. It is awesome. It's cool. I love the new character they introduced there. I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but pick it up. I'm going to give this one a 3 out of 5 because I don't really care about Marvel Cosmic, but it made me care a little bit more. So pick it up if you can, and if you keep an eye out for Infinity coming up this summer or whenever it's coming out. I don't know. Next title I want to talk about is Avengers Arena, with writing by Dennis Hopeless and art by Kev Walker. I really like this idea, not necessarily because of the originality. It's kind of basically Hunger Games meets the Marvel Universe, or at least the younger corner of the Marvel Universe, but it's a great idea because it kind of cleans house. You see, the Marvel toy box has like a zillion characters in it, and a lot of them kind of just don't get a lot of play. So this is a great opportunity for you to kind of play with a bunch of toys that nobody really cares about, or people haven't really seen in a long time, or don't get a lot of action, but at the same time also gets rid of the garbage, gets rid of the overflow. Some of the characters that you lose are kind of sad that you see them go, but at the same time, some of them, you know, you're kind of like, why aren't they gone? Or why aren't you, if you're not doing anything interesting with them, why not just kill them in a cool, spectacular way? You don't have to kill Spider-Man and Captain America every year to make something worthwhile. You can always kill some second stringer and then leave them dead for a long time. And if you have a good idea, you just bring them back to life. That's the nature of mainstream comic books today anyway. So I really like the idea, and the premise got me into it, and the writing and the art have kept me going. I really dig Avengers Arena. You should check it out. I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5 because I really didn't really care about it, but when I picked it up and read it, I liked it. I liked the idea. It's Hunger Games meets Marvel, so it's not the most original idea, but it's a lot of fun. I love the execution, so totally worth picking up, I think. So check it out because it's been going on for a while. The last book I want to talk about is not a comic book necessarily, but it was something that I picked up a long time ago that I feel has been really interesting and worth talking about. This is Writing for Comics by Peter David. This is more of like a how-to / memoir than it is a comic book, but it fits on your comic book rack and it fits with the other comics, so it's, you know, kind of physically part of the comic book world. Plus, it's about comics and writing for them, and it's by a prolific comic book author, Peter David. The book I picked up so that I could kind of familiarize myself with the format, with the approach to comic book writing, because I had always approached the idea, because I try to write them anyway, but I approached the idea as writing them basically like a screenplay, and I have a lot more experience writing those and trying out that format. So this was kind of like the first for me. I was like, how am I going to jump into comic writing? And this jumped out at me one day, and so I picked it up, and it's a really fun read. It's a really great insight into Peter David's approach. There's a lot of great references. It's Marvel almost centric. It's, by the way, by Impact, so it's not a Marvel book, but it does have a lot of Marvel stuff in it, because that's primarily a lot of the stuff that Peter David wrote. But it's a great approach. It gives you a lot of insight into maybe format, maybe approach, story construction, character. That's all in there, and I don't know how much it really helped me develop my comic book ideas, but it definitely helped me familiarize myself with format and some of the tropes that are involved with comic book writing. It really doesn't get too nitty-gritty when it comes to independent writing, non-superhero stuff, but it has enough of a generic approach that you can really use it across multiple genres. So to summarize, if you're interested in the approach to comic book writing, if you're interested in the insight into how Peter David wrote his stuff, if you're interested in what it takes to kind of produce a superhero-centric comic book, and it has some great industry suggestions in there, I would give it a pickup. So you can probably find it on Amazon or something. Just look up How to Write Comics by Peter David. So I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5 as well. By virtue of its own design, I mean, it's a book, so it's going to be obsolete the second it comes out. The approach to pitching and maybe where you contact publishers is a little dated at this point, but I believe there is actually an updated version, so I'm sure that one is only slightly more up to date than this one. So pick it up. It's 4 out of 5. I dug it. I liked it. It was a lot of fun. It was a really good read. And even if you're not interested in getting into the industry, but you care or are interested in the industry itself, I think it's worth a pickup. And hey, I want to thank you all for watching, of course, Sal's Comic Roundup. I'm Sal Crivelli, and if you want to give the like button some attention, I would, of course, very much appreciate it. But if you want to share your opinion or at least tell me books you'd like to see me review, you can do so in the comment section down below. So there you are, and we will see you next time, of course, on Sal's Comic Roundup. Don't forget, by the way, to stop by LittleHouseEntertainment.com for all your Sal Crivelli / Little House needs. And of course, we have a brand new show called Bonus Round, which you can check out in the links down below, or maybe in a little graphic that'll appear right here. It'll look like I'm holding it. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Anyway, I'll see you later.